I have been struggling, so welcome to Steph Struggles. If you don't know, my name is Steph, and I have bipolar disorder along with the fact that I'm autistic, and I have ADHD, and I have BPD, and I'm heavily traumatized and diagnosed with CPTSD. I just realized I've been spiraling a lot recently. I've been going down like this rabbit hole. It's like I'm trying to remind myself that I'm not being lazy right now. I'm in a depressive episode. This happens. I will have a couple weeks every so often where I just don't have the motivation I typically do, the drive I typically do. I fall back into really negative habits. I'm honestly just not as strong during certain parts of my life, like these parts, and I just have to remind myself I'm bipolar, even though I try to gaslight myself and convince myself I'm not. I try to gaslight myself and convince myself that I'm not bipolar because in my head it's so drilled in me like I'm just lazy. I'm just a problem. Like I just want to do this on purpose. I just want to be an inconvenience. So like I'm not even struggling. Like I'm not even just sick. I'm just trying to use that as an excuse. Like it's not even that much of an excuse. Like you just have to fight through it. It's just really difficult sometimes and I have to remind myself like maybe this is how it is. Maybe this is reality and you're not accepting that I will struggle a lot sometimes. It's not because of a character defect and it's not because I'm stupid or dumb or worthless or just trying to be lazy or trying to find whatever. What if it's because like there's something a little bit wrong with my brain chemicals and that's okay, life. I get overwhelmed with the smallest fucking things. Everything seems like such a chore. It's very hard for me to see myself positively. It's hard to do small tasks. I haven't been brushing my teeth. I haven't been showering. I took a shower yesterday because my best friend Riley was very, very encouraging, and I appreciate her for that because I don't think I would have showered for a while more if she had not encouraged me to take a shower when she was leaving. I told my best friend Sarah and Riley that I wanted to take a shower. I was like, oh, I hope today's the day I get to take a shower because I just never know if I'm going to have the motivation that day. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like, I'm not in charge of my own motivation. It's like I feel like I'm waiting for scraps to be given to me by my own brain and I'm just like, please, please, like give me what other people have. Like just give me what I need to like get through the day, just to like get out of bed. Please, just enough energy to get out of bed. Anyways, I told them that I really wanted to shower because it's been over a week that I hadn't showered. I showered before my trip to Florida, and then I hadn't showered since I'd been in Florida, which was like over a week, maybe almost 2 weeks. She was very encouraging and she was like, here. She walked me to the shower. She's like, here you go. And I was like, I promise I'll shower. And so when she left, I kept my commitment to myself and her, even though it was so difficult. I don't know why, like something so simple is so difficult, but I got that ish done and I did it. And I did feel a lot better afterwards. I felt very proud of myself. I felt a lot cleaner. My hair was not as greasy as it was, which was really, really nice. I feel like I forget that depression is not just like an overwhelming sadness. Depression just feels like an overwhelming lack of energy, motivation, and drive. I just feel like I don't function during depression, like I can't function. It's very simple to survive in this world, in the way I live. I just have a room. I make simple little videos that I make money off of sometimes if they do well. But it's like the idea of making a silly little video or doing the things I love, it just sounds exhausting. It feels exhausting. I don't have the energy. I don't have the motivation. I don't have any of it. And it's just like I beat myself up because it's just like, why can't you just do this? Why can't you just do that? Why can't you just get up? Why can't you just go shower? Why can't you just go brush your teeth? Like I don't even think I've brushed my teeth today because I've just gotten so used to not brushing my teeth anymore, which is so bad. Like I don't want to get used to these bad habits, which always happens. I think it's just like that cycle in my life. I feel like habits can be formed very easily for me. It's just hard for me to like stick to the habits. For a bad habit, whenever I get depressed, I just get a habit of laying in bed all day, not doing anything, trying to be nice to myself, but like ultimately failing and stressing myself out extra. Anyways, I've been trapped in my head for I feel like the last few weeks and I just don't like this feeling. I don't like being like this. I don't like experiencing this. I know it's part of life. We all have our trials and tribulations. We all have our bumps along the road, right? And bipolar disorder just happens to be one of mine. And it kind of sucks. And it's like really hard to come to terms with whenever you have a habit of invalidating yourself and gaslighting yourself. The moment I start feeling better, because I can't remember what it feels like to be sad or depressed whenever I'm not sad and depressed. Like the moment I develop healthier habits and I live a more healthier lifestyle for a couple days, it's like the moment I feel a negative emotion, it just feels like, what the fuck? Like, what are you? Like, I've never felt you before. You're just being lazy. You like, whenever symptoms start to show for things I genuinely live with, I try to convince myself I don't though. I very often convince myself that I'm cured and that I'm like, I have no problems and that I'm fine. You know, I just know a lot about these things. I don't actually have them though. I know a lot about BPD, but I don't actually have them since I know so much about it and I'm so well spoken, like people say on the internet. I just care too much about what other people think. So I like have these deep rooted fears or something where I feel like everybody is just waiting for me to like get better and then they can be like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. She was never telling the truth. She was lying the entire time. She's better. You see? You see she's better. That means she was never bad. She's better, so that means she was never sick or all those things she wanted in the first place. She really was just an attention seeking teenager." And I feel like I'm just so scared of that being true, I guess. Like, what if it is? Like, what if I have always just been, but I'm not. That's the whole point of me saying all this. I'm not. Like, that's the whole point is that I'm not that, right? Like, I'm literally, I have these symptoms. I am autistic. I am borderline. I have bipolar disorder. I am going to struggle with multiple symptoms at multiple different times. Every single time I get even slightly in a more healthier lifestyle, I guess, I just completely convince myself almost that I have no problems. I've never felt depressed before, so like it's so easy for me to shower and get out of bed now. So like, oh, it's no problem. I can just do that. I think I'm losing track of my words. I don't know. I feel like I enjoy life most whenever my stress is gone. Like, I experienced constant stress. Like, I don't know. I know logically why, but I also just, my instinct is always to say, I don't know why. I can't imagine a reality where I was under so much stress that it's that big of a deal. Like, I can't imagine a reality where it's like, oh, yeah, Steph, you were abused growing up. Yeah, 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 sure. Oh, it was so hard for you. It was so difficult for you. Oh, you were under so much stress. You were being yelled at. Oh, in my head, I can't remember it, so it inherently never happened. So like I start to gaslight myself over and over and over and over and over and over again. You shouldn't be under stress. So just don't be. Like you shouldn't be stressed because you have no reason to be stressed at all times for every little thing and get stuck in like a free state and shit like that. You have no reason for that. So like just don't do it. And then I get like brain fog for a couple days and it's just really hard for me to function like a good majority of the time. I feel like I'm constantly at war in my head. I'm constantly at war in my head. I've been convincing myself that I was gonna quit YouTube again. Like I've literally posted 2 videos, but it's been so difficult. It's been taking me days to get the motivation to like to edit a video. I edited half of my video, right, on a Sunday. It was my outliving my diagnosis video, right? All I had to do was edit like 13 more minutes of the video, meaning that's like 30 minutes of work if I literally just sit down and get it done with. But like in my head, like the idea of doing it was so overwhelming. I put it off for days, like days, and I just didn't do it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna quit YouTube because clearly I can't do it. But I was like, I'm gonna quit YouTube because all of my videos are so boring. I just like the idea of having video diaries to look back to for myself. And like I watch my own videos. Like I literally am my biggest fan. Like I don't care if y'all are haters or fans or like if you guys want to support or be unsupportive. I love my videos most times. So I'll just sit down and watch. Also, because of my memory loss, it's just very entertaining for me to watch videos I made in the past. Anytime I do something, it feels like I'm doing it for the first time. It's honestly a gift. The other day I was at Disney with my sister Vic. I rode the Avatar ride like a long time ago. Like I can't remember when, but I know I've been on it before and we were going on it and I was like, "Oh, I'm excited to like figure out what it's like. Like I want to experience it, know what it's like. Like I'm so excited." And she was like, "But like didn't you ride it before?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, like I know I've ridden it before, but like I don't really like remember it." So like I got to experience it again for the first time. I literally cried during it. It was so, so good. And I was like, oh, I want to go on this again. But like for me, I feel like that's low key a gift. Like I just get to experience things for the first time again. And, like, isn't that, like, what everybody always wants? Like, "Oh, I wish I could, like, rewatch this movie for the first time," or, you know? Like, I actually kinda get to do that, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know the science behind it. I don't understand it all that much. It sucks to have to explain over and over and over again, though. That's something I also struggle with, is, like, people being like, "You don't remember that? You don't remember that?" And, like, most times I just pretend. Sometimes I remember things, and I like to talk about it, and, like, but the thing is that I remember things very randomly. Like, I remember things, and I say it out loud, and people are like, "Why would you say that out loud? Why would you just randomly say that memory?" Like, And I was like, oh, like, I remembered something. Like, that's cool. Like, this is really nice. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, cool. Like when people are telling me stories, they're like, you don't remember this? And I'm just like, no, yeah, like I do. And then I'll like take up any information I know about that situation. Like I'll take any information that I know about that situation. I'll be like, oh yeah. And then I'll mention small little things that I can pull up in my memory drive, And then I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to continuously like explain like, oh yeah, I don't remember that. But then like I do remember something. So it just seems like really uneven. It seems too frequent for it to be believable, so I just don't even want to deal with it. I don't like to think about how serious that is though, because that always makes me like spiral and want to cry. So I try not to think about that. I have such a unique life experience. And like I know there are other people in the world who have the same experiences as me, but I feel like it's still like we all as a community, it's still a pretty small community of people who can relate to something. One thing that makes me upset though is whenever I'm talking about my memory loss, and I'll be specifically talking about childhood, being like, yeah, I don't really remember my childhood. And people are like, oh yeah, like me too. I can't even remember my childhood. Like I can't remember my childhood. But like in my head, I'm just like, but they don't understand. Like it's not just my childhood. I feel like I've lost my entire life and nobody ever understands that. I feel like maybe because nobody expresses verbal sympathy or empathy, I guess, for it. Maybe that's why. So I don't have that like external validation. But like that shouldn't matter. Like it shouldn't matter what people have to tell me or what I want people to tell me or what their reactions are. Like it's nobody's business at the end of the day. So like I shouldn't purposely try to like make it people's business, because if I know that I'm not going to get the reaction that I guess I supposedly want, like with that sympathetic and empathetic response, I guess deep down it really is like this need to want to be a victim, I guess, or just be acknowledged or validated. All right, I'm actually just going to go ahead and end the video here because I forgot what I was talking about and I feel like I'm getting more and more. Anyways, welcome to Stuff Struggles. Bye now.
Hope you like my videos. Is there anything else I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber?